Hello, today I'm going to be talking about The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I actually read this in August and I borrowed it from a friend and I've given it back. So I don't have a physical copy. I've been meaning to buy one, but I haven't got around to it yet. So you're not going to have any pretty covers to look at today, basically. The Alchemist was written in 1988 by the Brazilian author Paulo Coelho. So it was written originally in Portuguese and sadly translated into like over 60 languages. The copy I read was translated by Alan R. Clark. The book is about a young shepherd boy from the south of Spain called Santiago. One night he has a dream about trying to find treasure in the pyramids of Egypt, and then he has it again, and he goes to a fortune teller to find out what it's about, and they're like, you need to go and do this, go to Egypt, go find the treasure, and then he meets the king, and then he goes on this like massive adventure to Egypt. It reads like a fairy tale, it's very light-hearted, it has magic, it has fortune as well as misfortune. I didn't particularly like the style of writing, that like allegorical style where it's like the boy does this and then the boy does that. It doesn't really appeal to me, but I understand it really fit the vibe of the book. For this video, I'm going to talk about 3 recurring phrases that come up in the book. The first is the idea of your personal legend. Your personal legend is your spiritual purpose. It's your destiny, but it's a destiny that you have to act on. It's not just going to happen. And the only way to experience ultimate fulfillment is by acting on your personal legend. Santiago's personal legend is following this dream. So as I said before, I borrowed this book from a friend, and it was after I lent him like quite a sad, dark story, and he said that he bets this would put me in higher spirits than my book did for him. And it did, because it's literally about like following your dream. What could be more empowering than that? Although in the book it is very much a literal dream, but it does give very general advice about following your dreams, the things that you want to achieve in your life, about how you'll definitely regret it if you don't try and follow your personal legend, and a lot about serendipity, about how the world wants you to succeed in your personal legend. So once you've made the steps to like go and try and achieve it, the world will try and like correct any problems you may have or like push you in the right direction. Which is really nice, because anytime Santiago encounters misfortune, it always fixes itself, which I think is a really good thing to remember in life. Because things always work out, and no matter how scared you are that they're not going to work out, they always work out. Alchemy is the study of transforming objects into gold, and this book is all about transforming your thoughts and actions into gold, if that makes sense. The second thing I want to talk about is the soul of the world. The Alchemist is very forthrightly magical. Like, at one point he's like talking to the wind and the sun and they're talking back to him. But also there's this theory of the soul of the earth, which is originally a Plato concept, but is present in all of the religions that are present in the book. But just generally, spiritualism is a belief in a higher power, and that higher power is the soul of the world. Now, I'm a cynic and an atheist, so that whole idea is very romantic to me. In the book, it isn't a religious thing, it's more of a spiritual thing, and it's just about how there's something external that can and will help you, which is extremely alluring. But I'm not the remote bit spiritual, so I can't go with that. But I guess the more I thought about it, this is a bit solipsistic, but I'm kind of imagining it as being like, there's me, and I can control everything I do, and then there's everything external to me, and while everything external to me isn't in or out of my favour, I do have to respond to it, and it responds to me, and there's some sort of relationship there, even if it isn't a spiritual one. The third thing I want to talk about is the universal language. This is something that comes up a lot at the beginning of the book, when Santiago is talking about his relationship with his sheep, and how he can just kind of sense what they need and feel, and he has this intuition about them that he can't really think of consciously. And I think that's something that bears a lot more thought, because there's so much in our lives. You know, like how you can recognize people from across the street just by the way they walk, and like when you can tell that it's about to rain and stuff like that. Those are all things that are going on not consciously on our heads, so we rarely think about them, but actually that's exceedingly powerful. In the book, again, it's more like spiritual intuition, and there's a part that says, listen to your heart and your heart will show you the way, which sounds really poncy to me, but there's something in it about listening to yourself. There's so much more going on in your mind than you can really consciously think about. So that's something that I'm taking away from this book, that I have taken away, and I have put into more practice in the past couple of months of my life, of just trusting myself, trusting my first instincts and my first thoughts, because I know that my mind is way more powerful than the things that like come into my conscious, and that I should just kind of trust it and just go with my thoughts more. So this has been a video about The Alchemist. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed reading it a lot. It was fun. It was really heartwarming. I think it's a difficult book to not enjoy reading. And although I didn't agree with like every little thing that was said, it has made me think a lot more about the sort of things it was talking about. And it was nice reading something that's a bit different to the kind of stuff I usually read. If you've read The Alchemist, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Tell me about like if you've changed your way of living life since reading it. And if you haven't read The Alchemist, do you want to now? Do you not want to now? Tell me.